This is DG Vision Network.
A few things. Part of it is the level of education. You know that substantial part of Nigerians are not educated. Two, it has to also do with digital literacy. A lot of people are not fully aware of what is even a domain, for example. And the third is that a lot of Nigerians that are educated, that can afford to buy a domain or that are buying domain, usually buy .com. Because .com is it has what is called the first mover advantage. They were around long before .ng, so people have adopted .com. The mentality is that if you want to have a website, it's just a .com. So that has really pushed people to adopt .com. Another thing is that most Nigerians do not want to align with local products, because they feel this is local. That's why when you want to buy clothes, you want to buy everything, you look for foreign goods. And that's a bad mentality that we need to change gradually. It's not only about NIRA, it's about us as a country. Government has to really push for people to consume local rice, even though the local rice is very, very close to the foreign rice. But people prefer, when they go to buy rice, do you have foreign rights? So that mentality has to change. So those are some of the few factors that have affected the adoption of the .ng domain. Recently, we have reduced our pricing downward for the top level domain .ng directly with around 40%. This is to ensure affordability, for Nigerians. We are also trying to remove barriers of entry for our registrars. NIRA operates the 3R model called the registry, registrar, and registrant. The registry is NIRA. The registrar are the distributors of NIRA, the ones that sell domain to the end users, and the end users are called registrants. So we are trying to reduce the barriers of entry for organizations that want to become registrars of NIRA, that is distributors of NIRA, so that more Nigerian companies can participate. Right now we have about almost 70 companies, both locally and internationally, but there are a lot of states in Nigeria that do not have a single registrar of .ng. So by removing these barriers and by reaching out to all those states, we tried from 2000, our plan was to start going around the 6 geopolitical zones, but unfortunately because of the COVID-19 pandemic we couldn't do it. But with the pandemic now gradually easing out completely, the intention is to go around and onboard those new registrars so that it's not only affordable but it's available. Wherever you are in Nigeria, you can get a registrar that can handle the registration of the .ng domains. One is the benefit of .ng and the benefit of local hosting. So the benefit of the .ng is that you are buying something that is yours. The money stays in Nigeria. You are not buying from a foreign .com, .net, and all other global top-level domains. So you don't pay in foreign currency, and therefore that reduces the pressure on our NIRA. The money remains in our economy, and it empowers NIRA, and NIRA staff, are being paid salary from the revenue of that .ng. The second one is that when you want to focus on Nigerians, it's when it comes to global ranking and the visibility on the internet, it's better to use the .ng than to use the .com. The third is that if you are an organization, you have a registered company, it's easier to get your domain, the availability of that domain in Nigeria under .ng than under the .com. So for example, if you have a company called cars.ng, you cannot have such a domain name, for example, from .com. It's already taken, or because it has been there, as I said, before the .ng. But in Nigeria, most of those names are available. It gives you opportunity to also that if somebody should purchase that name and you have a copyright on that name, or you have what do you call it, trademark on that name, you can easily get it from .ng. And if somebody should use a .ng to perpetrate crime, you know, to some extent we can reach out to that person, especially when they are Nigerians. So to some extent it's more protected. You know, you are more within a community in Nigeria than for you to participate in the global arena in terms of the domain business. And we asked also about the hosting, which I've been passionate about over the years. We've been advocating that if you register a .ng domain, you localized that money because you did not register a foreign domain. We also have been pleading with Nigerians to ensure that that information, the website, the content of the information of that website is hosted within Nigerian data centers, so that when other Nigerians want to access that information, they don't have to reach out to foreign data centers. And that is creating, you know, and what is it called, our local domesticated internet. As we speak now, for example, there are people that are saying Russians should be disconnected from the internet. But honestly, unfortunately for Russia, substantial part of their information is within Russia. 90% of all the information that Russians are browsing is hosted within Russian data centers. So they might not feel isolated even if you disconnect them from the global internet. But in Nigeria, we totally depend on our international submarine cables to browse the internet. So we want to reverse that by ensuring that all our information in Nigeria resides within Nigerian data centers. And that's why, for example, recently government came up with a policy of .gov.ng to ensure all government, federal government ministries, department and agencies are using .gov.ng, as well as domesticating that information in Nigerian data centers. So safety of the internet, people have been talking about it, but you see, as internet is open, most of the ISPs cannot block anything you're doing, right? So the safety of individuals is about the individuals themselves learning about protecting their information. A lot of people, for example, they use their phones to do, or they don't even use internet banking, but they have an ATM card. Scammers have been calling them, you know, through the telephone call to say, look, I need your PIN number, I need your VBN. They have dubious ways of extracting information from individuals, right? And banks over the years have been telling in almost all the places that do not disclose your PIN number. There is no way the bank can reach out to you to ask for your PIN number. So in terms of the safety of the internet, is just constant advocacy to ensure that people are aware of the dangers on the internet, and to some extent to protect themselves. So if you're an internet user, you must make sure that there are certain websites you don't go, you have an antivirus, you have a latest updated software on your phones and on your laptop. There are, you know, best practices when it comes to protecting yourself on the internet, the safety on the internet. And government to some extent have been trying to sensitize people on that, especially the NCC, and NIRA in one way or another have done few webinars and few events towards that sensitization. Right now we have an NGO in NIRA called the Ndukwe Kalu Foundation. We are trying to see how we can use that as a platform to see how we can protect children online, because it's one of our key areas, and also to provide general sensitization on how individuals can protect themselves.
This is DG Vision Network.